All right. Here we go, Holy Ones, Machiwa. So grateful to be here on Tuesday night, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, as we work together in this frequency, Christic frequency, in this energy, this spirit, this memory. This is a code. These teachings, Emerald Order Guardian teachings, are a code. Let me move this around. This is a live transmission. That's good. That's light. It's pretty good. So let me. One of my green screen lights is not on. Excuse this, me. In case it makes a difference, right? I'm a stickler to be consistent. All right, so Christic light, not to be confused with New Age light. There's a lot of blessed souls, I'm sure, who mean well. Just realize there's a lot of false light teachings out there. And I can say that because I was once upon a time also entangled in some of those inverted teachings. And tonight we're going to be focusing on more of a positive note tonight, because last time we were talking about fallen angels, those including alien races like the Anunnaki, reptilians. Tonight we want to focus on the guardian, angelic nations, positive beings, serving the sacred universal law of one, serving God's, source God's original intention. Testing. Yeah, my mic is too low. I'm going to try it different today and keep it closer to me and get the volume up a little bit. Testing. Okay. Testing. That should be it. And so, yeah, this is kind of like explained. I'm going to explain these angels, guardian angels, from the creation context, because you really, to see the greater picture of where all of it is fitting in, because these are definitely different classifications of life. And so it's important to realize the context of where these beings exist throughout the different dimensions and universes. So we get a very limited idea, you guys, about angels from biblical scripture or other type of religious belief systems. It's not a very specific, science to their explanations, or their stories or their myths, but angels definitely are complex beings. You would say they're not only good or positive. Some of them have chosen to use their own gift, and it is a divine gift of free will, and some have used it in a negative way or egocentric way. And so, definitely not a loving way. So there are those who are serving the loving path and those who are against it. It's literally a polarization, conflict, two different agendas. One is serving the self, and that's draining life force, feeding off of life force, what you can call kundalini from other living beings. And it's not limited to people. They go as far as draining or feeding off the kundalini of a planet or an entire race of beings, enslaving races of beings. And so this is described by the Emerald Covenant as a phantom consciousness. Okay? So this is not what we're going to be talking about tonight. We're talking about those who are following the original intention of the Emerald Covenant of our time matrix, which was based on love. It always has been, even though some abused their free will and kind of went against that. They played that role. And so, I mean, that's just within their own decision making. They chose. You know, maybe it's a person, maybe it's a group of them. They chose with their divine gift of free will to go against Creator, to actually go against all life. There's an important concept when it comes to talking about angels and fallen angels or anything like that, is the concept of distortion. Now, we don't use right and wrong. We don't talk about it in that way, but we talk about what is distortion from the original. When you have the original, let's say, template of a race, a being, the original template is divine, is perfect, has no distortions, has no negative aspects, has not degraded from its original template. And so now when you start to deviate from the original template, you create mutations in the template, in the consciousness. That is what we're called distortion. Distorted. Think of that word, distorted. Kind of like warped, transformed. Distortion. So the original perfect form is now funky, off, not its original state. And so God, Creator, Source, created all life perfectly. The original race that a being is part of, like we're part of the angelic human Turnesium race. Now that was originally perfect. So when you have a perfect DNA template, when your consciousness is operating within a perfect DNA biology, then the consciousness is benevolent. It is Christic. It is, you would say, working within their inner Christic divine vertical connection to God, to Source. That's how we're meant to be. This is the organic way, the natural way. Now, when you start doing things, causing distortions in your body, your health, your ideas, your thinking, your beliefs, then you're within distortion, which can get worse and worse and worse, which is another way of saying falling or de-evolving. So angels are a big part of this whole, process within our time matrix. And so it's interesting because when we say angels, normally it's any beings within the second universe. And these teachings talk about how there's 5 universes within the time matrix, within our creation, within the reality creation. And so second universe is kind of low because 5 being the highest. So the second universe is so-so, and that's where the angels are. So you see, even angels aren't that high compared to archangels, compared to avatars, compared to rishi. Angels are down here. Humans are even lower. So it's part of, you would say, a process of reclaiming or ascending back to your original divine form. And that divine template, that can't be corrupted. It can't be mutated or distorted like it has down here. That divine template is in the 12th dimension. So which is where the guardians start. Okay, they start in the 12th dimension, 13th, 14th, and 15th dimension. So all beings have some connection to their original divine blueprint, even though if you have distortions from 11th dimension all the way down to our 3rd dimension here, you're still connected. That is still part of your potential. And so when we go on a spiritual awakening journey, we're trying to reclaim that distortion, I mean that potential, because we know, we're becoming aware of distortion in our personality, in our DNA, distortion in the way we think, because this didn't happen overnight. This didn't happen just in your current lifetime. This is something that our soul level has distortions, our oversoul has distortions, some of our avatar level has distortions. And so part of our mission here is to, heal a lot of our karma, heal our distortions in our thinking, in our DNA. And some people may think, how can you change your DNA? See, that's the amazing, miraculous, fantastic thing about these teachings. They literally teach you a way to access your DNA, to heal your DNA, to reverse the mutations that have happened to our DNA as a race, as an individual. It's complex, it's advanced teachings, it's a spiritual science, but anyone's capable to start studying and start working on that for themselves. Learn how to run those higher frequencies into this lower frequency body. Some of those higher levels have access to your divine blueprint. We're trying to reclaim our divine blueprint and awaken our higher Christos avatar version of ourselves, which is within that 12D, 12th dimensional divine blueprint. We want that back. We want to reclaim that. And even if we're just doing a partial reclaiming, it makes us a better version of ourselves down here. So that's what we're going to be talking about to you tonight, you guys. That this topic is going to be involving going over some of the guardian races, and these beings are super, super ancient. Okay, we're not just talking about tens of thousands of years old. We're not just talking about millions of years old. These beings are literally 950 billion years old. That is super, super ancient. So, and there's a whole, you would say, forbidden history that we're not told about this, that we are connected to as a human race, as the angelic human race. That is now kind of like a forbidden history. And so these guardians, specific group of beings, are bringing that back to us. And so we are, and it's not just something that's a blind faith, okay? Because I get that in some of these comments I get on my videos or questions. This is something that you don't actually need a book or a teacher when you have your own connection to these records, Akashic records, your own personal, or the universe records, the time matrix records. And so we can learn how to operate our divine architecture. It's an architecture of light and sound and symbol codes and base codes of matter. We learn how to, it's a spiritual science, so we learn about the ultra micro particles all the way up to our body matter and the levels of our light body and our plasma body. I mean, these are the most advanced teachings on the planet regarding a spiritual awakening and ascension. And so I encourage all of you to look more into these books, Voyager's books, but also I would say I encourage you to go through these first, and then, because these are kind of like the basic introduction to these teachings. This is done by Ashana Dean. So I'm a student of these work. A lot of you guys are student of these teachings. And so like I said, it's not something you just take at blind faith. It's something you actually confirm within your own journey, within your own connection to your higher selves. You will witness and confirm, like I can say that for myself, for my own higher selves. I have confirmed these teachings. I have seen Ashiana. I've seen guardian Azarites and Lyran beings. All this stuff about the time matrix, I confirmed in my own journey. I saw beings who weren't carbon matter. I've seen beings who are carbon etheric matter, and higher. And so a lot of have you as well. So thank you guys for joining us tonight. We have a lot of regulars here. We have a beautiful community, loving community. You guys can ask questions tonight. All you have to do is just try to tag your question. That means put the channel name, Christos Avatar TV, in your message. Tag it, and then I should be able to see it. If not, just one of our moderators will help me. She will write it to me on Discord, and I'll see it. So thank you guys for being here tonight, sharing, right before the holidays, or around the corner, literally. So yeah, it's probably going to be a slow night tonight because of the holidays. But that's okay. We're here, and the replay will be here for anyone else who wants to see it later. So, but we do have Sir Madison, brother, my Chihuahua homies. Woohoo! How you doing down under, brother? Good to see you, man. One of our moderators tonight that'll be watching our community, our chat. We have Prodby Reveal in the house. Good to see you, Holy One. We have Voya the Toya. Hey. All right. Thank you for being here tonight. Got Liz Angel 72. One of my members, been here for over a year. And she writes, wow, can't believe I got here before it started. Kisses, everyone. Much love from Brazil to Indigo family. Thank you, Liz. So happy to have you tonight. We also have another heavy hitter, Helena. Bless you, sister. Machiwa to all. Good to have you. A lot of regulars, we come here and we find our friends here. We find our family in this group, right? Georgina Hedinger, 9441. Hello, family. Omni, love to you, sister. Woohoo! Got another Lyran homie, Anuhazi dude, my Chihuahua brother. Give me 5. Pink Lemon. All right. Good to see you, Holy One. Star sister. XM Jack 6405. Greetings to you. And one of our other moderators, Magi Celine in the house. My Chihuahua sister. Familia, good to see you. Much respect. Thank you for being here. Dan Miller in the house. Hello to you, Holy One. We also got Ann Mott, 6964. Thank you for those positive energies. Thank you, Helena. Bless you, sister. Indigo Wizard in the house. What's up, brother? Shalom, Anuhazi. He says, and tribes. Good to see you, brother. Much respect. So yeah, this will hopefully be informative. I want to say that much respect to all of you in your spiritual journey, wherever that's taken you. This is part of our record. This is part of our identity of who you are, learning about these angels, learning about these guardian angelic nations, learning about the forbidden history as you as a soul, as an identity, have been through at those different timelines. And so we're all like trying to figure things out. We're all trying to remember who we are. It hasn't been easy. There's been, you would say, a hidden enemy, someone who's against you to remember. They don't want us remembering. They don't want us activating. They want us forgetting. They want us diseased and having cancers. They want us disempowered. This is a spiritual war. And so, while there's a lot of beings out there who choose the path of chaos, there's a lot of us who are choosing the path of order, the path of expansion, the path of remembering, the path of service to others. It's not about the ego. What's the ego? It's way down here. We want to go into the heart, the throat, the third eye, the crown, the thymus, the thalamus, galactic 1, galactic 2, universal 1, universal 2. We want to go all the way, homie, all the way to your Christos avatar. You'll remember these councils, the guardian angelic nations. You can remember, it's in your body. It's in the Akashic record. You can access it. Learn how to access it. Open your Templar. Awaken thyself. And you will remember. The memory is already there. It's been blocked. It's become dormant. You're trying to reclaim that. And then it will play back. Kind of like a movie, a video, playing in your mind of you remembering other lifetimes, other identities. One of the cool things about that is it's not somewhere far away. It's not distant. It's here in the now, happening in the now. Just like you're having all these 3D issues and you're living your life here, well, you're also living in ancient Atlantis. You're also living in Egypt. You're also living in another planet. Okay? You remember Earth, but you can also remember Tara. You can remember Gaia. You can remember Armatena or any other place you have served as a soul in your mission. And so this is something that you'll have this memory of some of the angelic wars. Okay? Just because they're angels doesn't mean they don't have conflict or dramas, because we certainly have had those. Devastating, very devastating wars. And so, let me light my charcoal real quick. It can become very emotional when you find out about some of the, horrible things that have happened to us. And so, a lot of these councils that we're going to talk about tonight in the Guardian Angelic Nations were actually created because of the angelic warring. Like, these races all got along for 700 billion years. There wasn't a need for the Azerite security team. There wasn't a need for the Ayani to come in here like mission work, rescue work. Okay? Because we were all living within the sacred universal law of one. We were all treating each other with omni love and equality and, and recognition as another face of source. We're all source. All beings are part of God. It is the false light systems and false creeds of religion that teach you the opposite message. Well, the Guardian Covenant, Emerald Covenant, is reminding us of our original, you would say, that original covenant versus a lot of the patriarchy belief systems, that disempower us, that create some type of imbalance in our thinking. And so we go on a spiritual journey, you guys, to learn about these things. And we talk about all these different levels of yourself. Well, some of your higher selves are angels. Okay? That can be confusing because a lot of people just think, oh, let me get my amber. Where's my amber, homie? Oh, I got it. Because of the distortions of like religion, you don't understand what is an angel. So when I talk to you about, oh, you were once upon a time an angel, that sounds like BS. Because you have been indoctrinated to think of angels as something totally not, distorted than what it really is. So a lot of this explanation is going to need to be done through the time matrix diagram. Cleanse and purify your space, holy ones. Be very mindful of your spiritual hygiene. Cleanse and purify your space regularly, you guys. Especially in today's, day and age. So yeah, we didn't need security before. We didn't need these guardians, because we all were in love with each other. We were all in love with God. Everything was based on love. Everything was beautiful and perfect and divine. And then we had some, rotten apples in the bunch. That whole family line coming out of the Anu Elohim, the Anunnaki, Metatron, Thoth, Enoch, Enki, Enlil, Marduk. That's the whole one of the biggest fallen angelic groups. Then we had the insectoid reptilian beings, the Omicron dragon moths, the Odedicron, winged reptilians, the negative insectoids like the gray aliens, the Zephlihim. And so these beings turned against the guardians, they turned against each other, they turned against all life. So it is possible to have those type of dangers and threats. So now that the universe, the time matrix between dimensions 1 and 11 now has dangers and threats. Well, now the guardians, the angels, the archangels, the avatars created all of these organizations and coming together in their Christic frequencies, in their omni love, and created these sacred organizations to help protect, to help balance the imbalance from the negative races. So now we do have a high council. Now we do, which is the Liran Anuhazi. We do have the guardian angelic nations, an actual group, not just some new age, it's not a new age term. And so there's also the guardian angelic nations. They're also called the interdimensional, because we live in an interdimensional reality. So they're not just limited to one space-time. They're throughout the matrix. Interdimensional. They're called the Interdimensional Association of Free Worlds. So they initialize it IAFW. IAFW. Interdimensional Association of Free Worlds. So now we have the Guardian Angelic Nations, the IAFW, and much later, like 500-600 million years ago, is when they created the Guardian Alliance. That's another Guardian security group. Okay, so we have the High Council. There's a couple of councils we'll show you, but mainly it's the Guardian Angelic Nations, the Interdimensional Association of Free Worlds, and the Guardian Alliance. Notice I didn't say Galactic Federation. Those are not good guys. Those are not guardians. Those are false light. Do you know what false light means? I explain it in hundreds of my videos. I have over 1,200 videos. I've explained these concepts within few hundreds of videos. False light means they're bad guys pretending to be good guys. They give you fake spiritual teachings. They take you away from your inner Christos. Their teachings are all about you looking out here, finding some other force or power. Sorry. I don't like to use my, touch my face. So yeah, this empowers you when they take you away from your inner Christos. Or they create all these distortions and false narratives talking about how you're bad or wrong. I mean, there's something wrong with the human race. We need help. You see what they're doing? They're inserting their false light systems into your life and disconnecting you. I mean, you're not literally connected, but they're making you forget about your connection to source. And now you've taken all these narratives into your energy. Now you believe it. Now you're part of it. Now you think that's true. Not everyone's fallen for it, but a large portion of our planet has fallen for these false light teachings. They forgot about their connection to God. They accept the lie that they're separate from God. And so these teachings transmute that. That's not how the Guardians roll. That's not what they teach. That's not what they're bringing here. So let me show you some of that, but let me check in real quick. SM Holder in the house. Good to see you, Star Sister. Woohoo! All right, got one of our moderators. Okay, let me double check. One second here, guys. So I want to show the diagram, you guys. If it will help explain, give you this idea. One of my moderators, please put my time matrix diagram in the chat. Okay, so we have this. Let me make sure it's showing up on the screen. Yeah, Galactic Federation is, well, Thoth is part of that. It's not about Thoth. It's about the Jehovian Anunnaki, the Anu Elohim. Any of the Anunnaki races like Enki, Enlil, Marduk, Thoth is part of the Enki group. So, but yeah, they're all against this Guardian groups. And Galactic Fed is actually one of the biggest false light systems around. So to understand angels, we really need to know the context of creation. You don't get this. You're not going to get this in New Age. You're not going to get this in religion. So Source God is about, well, Source God is the creator. Source, God, is the one that creates life, that creates structure of reality. God created reality, that other conscious beings can come into this reality. Our reality, and it's just one of many, our reality is called the 15-dimensional time matrix. Like I said, it's 950 billion years old. And God put a piece of itself in our 15-dimensional time matrix. So this is just one of many. So we have many different time matrices with their own races, but this is our time matrix with our planets and our races. And so God put a piece of itself at the highest level. And so this is the fifth universe. You can also call it the holographic universe, or you can call it the density universe. They're the same thing. And so life started in the highest universe, which is antimatter. This is before planets, before alien races, pre-planets, pre-extraterrestrials. So they don't exist yet at that level. They exist starting at this level, the fourth universe. So Source God put a piece of itself in this highest level of frequency. And so these are life forms that Source projected. And so these life forms are called Elohai. This is the Emerald Order group. And there's the next group is called Seraphi. They're the Gold Order group. Or you could say Gold Flame, Blue Flame, Violet Flame. This is the Violet Flame group, the Brahmarama, Amethyst Order group. And so these are collectives, families. Okay? So these collectives at the highest level of the 15-dimensional time matrix, they created life and planets and races in the lower density 4. And so this is where we start getting interesting with all these different races, starting with the founder races. So there's only 10 founder races. Anu, Anuhazi, Omicron, Odedicron, Athean, and Ceres, and Pegasi, Inu, Dolphins, and Yoni. Those are the founder races of all other species and life in the multiverse. All life came from one of these 10 bloodlines. Okay, this is not a bloodline. This is a reference to this race, the Anu, falling. So it's the same race, but I didn't want to delete this name. I want the record to show that there is the Anu originally. They fell, became the Anu. Anu is the same as Anu, Elohim. And they created this race below them called the Jehovian Anunnaki. So they're not a founder's race because it's density 4. They're a child race that was created after. So there's only 10 founder races. And so you would say you can have angels connected to the blue flame, which is, remember, Elohai, Elohim. The gold flame races, Omicron, Odedicron, Athean, Ceres, can also have angels in their bloodlines. They're called Seraphi, Seraphim. So there's not really drama happening in the violet flame races. But they too will have their own angels and archangels. And so if we look at these founder races are in this fourth universe, dimensions 10, 11, and 12. They're called avatars. They're not angels yet. They're just, these extraterrestrials are all late, their category is called avatars. So the avatar category consciousness is where the primary founders exist, but they too can create races in this fourth universe, like this race did. They created the Jehovian Anunnaki. Now there could be billions, trillions of races that live in this density universe 4, but we're just mentioning, the ones that are in the drama of the human race right now. So these are the founder races. Now we look at all the different races below, and that's where we start with the archangels. This is the third universe, dimension 7, 8, and 9. See the in parenthesis archangels? So they're technically called oversouls, but they're the same thing. And so this is where we start tonight's topic. So these are races, like again, they could be positive angels or negative archangels. So you can see the ones that are red are the ones that are fallen. They became fallen. Remember, 900 years ago, these were all blessed, positive beings. Now, after the fall of the original races, which was the Anu Elohim and the Omicron were the first ones who fell. After they fell, well, now we got all kinds of distortions, all kinds of fallen races now throughout the time matrix. And so, because of this warring that happened between the Anu Elohim, which was originally the Anu, and the Omicron, because of that, now they have these guardian groups that come into our time matrix to help balance what the fallen angels have done. And so we talk about these administrative levels, Emerald Order administrative levels. Now we talk about the highest level Emerald Order. They're the highest level, the Elohim group. So all the administration comes out of the blue flame. All of the security comes out of the blue flame, because they have the highest guardians, the highest protection, the highest technology, the highest knowledge. So of course they're going to make all these profound, powerful organizations are coming out of the blue flame. Also called the Melchizedek Cloister Emerald Order, MCEO for short. So Janus is what the guardians call source or God, the central point of all union. They use this word, it's an Anahazi word, unicide. So that's not really a administrative level, it's just God, source God, it includes everything. That's why it's called the central point of all. So within that is the first level of consciousness called the Ascended Masters. The Anahazi word for that is Janus. You'll see people using that word in their usernames because they, connect to those levels, or they remember those levels. So this is also where we're going to get, this is also the consciousness of indigo children. So that's not a council, it's just the body of beings that exist in the time matrix, outside the time matrix, in the cosmic fields. See, this gray thing that I put around here in these rings, these concentric rings, are outside of the time matrix. So it is beings that live here that are called Janus, or you can call them the popular name Ascended Masters. So we have the Janus Ascended Masters, who are the ones who exist outside of our our time matrix called the energy matrix. So they come in, they're the ones who came in and brought life into here, into the primary founders. So everything in here is actually technically Ascended Masters, Ascended Master consciousness that gets, as soon as it comes in, it gets polarized because of the antiparticle matrix. That's what polarization really is. Bipolar light radiation, that's what polarization really is. It gets taken into two matrices. So any Ascended Master, any Janus Ascended Master that comes in here, it becomes polarized, and it becomes a spectrum of consciousness broken down into fragments. That's not bad or negative. That's what naturally happens. Because you can't take one of these Janus Ascended Masters and just let it come into the time matrix with its full power. It would destroy it. It won't fit in there. It can't fit in there. So it's broken down into several pieces, specifically 1,728 pieces, fragments, fractals. Some of those pieces are rishi. Some of those pieces are avatars. Some of those Ascended Master pieces are oversouls. Some of those Ascended Master pieces are souls. And some of them are what's called incarnates. So you yourself, brothers and sisters, are a Janus Ascended Master who came in here, but it had to fractalize itself, fragment itself into many different identities. Instead of one singular identity, it is many identities. So some of those identities are angels, and some of those identities are archangels, tonight's topic. But also some of them are avatars, and these lower levels, the incarnates, the full spectrum. An avatar is representing that. So, or you could say even the rishi. The rishi is representing those beings who are in fragments. So when you're down here in Earth, you're having your life here, you're just one of those 1,728 identities. So this is how the hologram works. Just know that if you have 1,728 selves, well, and you're one of those here, well, that means you have 1,727 other versions of you. Some of them are also with you here in the first universe, And some of them are in the parallel first universe. Okay? You're going to have parallel second universe, and your particle matrix versions. You're going to have this etheric versions. You're going to have avatar versions. So it's complex, but not really, when you understand that basic concept that you're a ascended master who came in and became a spectrum of identities. And some of those identities are archangels and angels. And so you have, even though you're here in Earth, well, you're also here in Tara as an angel. Okay, you're also in Gaia, because, density 3 is the Gaia level for humans. So you're here in Tara, and you're here in Earth, but you're simultaneously also in Gaia, and also in the fourth universe, Armatena, if you're human. If you're Pleiadian, you're not going on these planets, obviously. You got your own planets. Sirius beings are in the Sirius star system, so they have their own planets. But we're humans, so we make this diagram based on humans. So this is what we go through: Earth, Tara, Gaia, Armatena. You started at these levels. Your divine blueprint is in the 12th dimension, remember? Your perfect divine blueprint. No distortion. Everything below the 12th dimension has distortion. So there's distortion from 11th dimension all the way down. And so you're trying to awaken yourself, you're trying to heal yourself, and ascend yourself. And that whole phrase, return back to source, well, that's what ascending is. You're returning up to you want to ascend to the 4th dimension, you'll ascend to the 5th dimension, 6th, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You return back to your source, to source God. Because you are God that fragmented itself in many different avatars and rishi and all that, and angels and archangels. God fragmented itself in all these faces, all these forms, all these versions of itself. Trillions, quadrillions, quintillions of different forms, from the ultra microparticle to the gigantic galaxies and universes. Okay, so God is great. And God is all. That's what these teachings are based on, the sacred universal law of one. I broke it down for you to understand what are angels. It's just a part of this. Archangels are just a part of this entire, reality. And they're mid-level, you guys. Most of us think that angels are so powerful and so great. Well, they are, but they're not the greatest, and they're not the most powerful. There's much more greater conscious beings in the multiverse, in all creation, than just angels and archangels. So let me hydrate myself, you guys. All right. Yeah, so thank you, Magi Salim. Bless you, sister, for that. Magi Salim, yeah, 1728. So, even in the first universe, we have 144 selves, you guys. So, there's 144 selves in the parallel universe. That's 288 in the first universe. We have 288 in the second universe, 288 in the third universe. You add all these up, it's going to be 1,728 versions of yourself. And some of the indigo children, they have a lot more than that. Than 1,728. We have up to 5,000, 6,000 other different lifetimes. We live a lot more different incarnations than most beings, because that's our contract. we're doing service throughout the different, more service, more lifetimes, because we're doing our mission. And so what I also want to do is show you the Voyager's books. Okay, that's where these teachings are starting from. And so it starts in Voyager's 1. Okay? In Voyager's 1, it starts talking about the Guardians and all the different levels of the Guardians, kind of like I showed you right now, but in more detail. And so, I don't know if you guys are familiar with these two books, but you definitely want to start there and, go through Voyager's 1, go through this smaller one called Angelic Realities, and then finish up with Voyager's 2. And then when you understand a lot of that and you're ready to move on, I would say go into other video workshops. Okay, these don't have workshops, but there's workshops that come after the books. And it was meant to stay private. It didn't stay private. It came out into the public. People started downloading. Well, first they took the original video VHS tapes, because it's from the 90s and early 2000s where we still had VHS tapes. So people would transfer them over to the computer and then upload them to the internet. And now people got all these for free. They weren't originally free. All these courses, but now they're out there. What are you gonna do? They're out there already now. So we share those links. We share the PDFs because they're already out there. And so I encourage you to go through that, go through these books, and then go through the early workshops like Cathara, Biospiritual Healing. You guys can find any of those hundreds of workshops on the internet. You can search Ashiana Dean Video Workshop. If you know the name of it, add that to your search. You can look in YouTube. You can look in Google for these workshops. You can look for them in BitChute. BitChute. It's another video platform because it's not so censored as YouTube is. So some of the videos end up on BitChute or Telegram. If you don't know what those are, look it up. Look up Telegram, download it, and look for Ashiana Dean or Emerald Order Teachings or Freedom Teachings or Cathara. You will find these teachings. They're free, you guys. Okay? And so we're providing those for free as well. I mean, there's no paywall here. I have membership area for people who want to support my work. I'm one of, I devote my life to these teachings and sharing them with people. So that's how I be able to pay my bills, is through membership areas. People do care. People do support my work. So thank you for that, you guys. And I also want to say, right now, I'm still surviving off of donations. So if you guys can donate tonight, I made the link at the top. It's very easy to donate. Or you can go to my description and find my PayPal link. Otherwise, you can do it live. PayPal, they take less out of my cut. They take a huge cut if it's through the super chat. But bless you, if you want to do super chat, do super chat. Thank you for the support, you guys. This is how I can, feed the cats and feed myself and pay rent. So I do this full time, literally full time, even on weekends. So thank you guys ahead of time for your support. Because so far we have 0 donations. So even one donation, $5, $10, you guys, please help support this work. $15, $20, $50, whatever you feel called to. This is the season of giving. So please, don't forget your brother Anahazi. Thank you guys so much. So yeah, these are going to be talked about also in the Voyager's books. So let me bring that on the screen. Machiwa. I guess I have to open up Adobe. Voyager's 1. And so I'm gonna look up Guardian Angelic Nations. You'll see this book. It's got a lot of pages in it, right? But we're gonna use the search thing. Guardian. Actually, I want to go to where they start talking about guardian races. I have to go down a few. There we go. So even in Voyagers 1, they showed you kind of like I showed you. They show the different levels of creation and the different levels of guardians. Remember, they start with the God, the source of everything, Unisai. And just like I told you, they talk about the Yanis, which is the Ascended Masters. There's 3 of them. And these groups created life in the time matrix. Which are called the Rishi. The Rishi are also called Brenawa or Rishi. And so these are the 3 founders, the 3 primary founders who created the planets and the ETs. So the blue flame one is Emerald Order Elohim. Okay, they're the first light manifestation of Source, God. So this is why all the councils are under the blue flame. So they created the Anuhazi and they created the Anu. Okay, the Anu, feline aquatic apes. The Anuhazi are feline hominids, cat people. They're the first, that's who the holy Christos avatars are. They're cat people, man. Christ is a feline. You don't like cats, I'm sorry. Not sorry. Anyways, we have this order to the cosmos. It's the order to the universe, which is the multiverse. It starts with the blue flame, Emerald Order, Elohim. And they created, this is density 5, remember? So in density 5, they created life in density 4 called the Anuhazi and the Anu. Now the gold flame, the gold order group, Seraphim, they're the next level of, you would say the next highest level, the second highest level. It says right here, second light manifestation of Source, God, consciousness, projected. And they created the Ceres bird people. So we got cat people and bird people and aquatic ape people. So there's bird people and we also have mantis. Now mantis is where all insect life forms come from. They are the mold, the blueprint of all insect beings. They're the primary, no, they're a founder race of the gold flame. Wait, I'm like tripping out. Wait a second. But the gold flame has also got insect races, reptile races, and dinoid races. This isn't your brother Anuhazi making stuff up. Most people understand what dinoids are. They're dinosaurs. It's a type of life form. And it happens to also, we have dinoids on our planet. We have had reptiles on our planet. We have insect on our planet. So we're a low version of these life forms. I mean, lower in dimension. These beings are in dimension 10, man. And we're in dimension 3. The gold order created the Ceres and the Athean. But they also created 2 races that fell. I guess these aren't italicized, so I have to find it. The Omicron. So the Omicron, see, it's not italicized, so I have to look for it. Oh, the Omicron is part gold flame, but they're the ones that fell, remember, 250 billion years ago. And so did the Odedicron. Okay, those are winged reptilians. So this is the gold flame. And then the last one is the violet flame amethyst order, Brahmarama. They created 5 races. The Innu, which is whale people. They created the aquatic dolphins. I know we look at them on our planet and think they're just some animal. You guys, aquatic dolphins are actually divine beings from dimension 11. So what you see on our planet is just a small version of this, a small piece of what an actual aquatic violet flame amethyst dolphin is. Then they made the Pegasi or Pegasus avian horse deer beings. Then there's finally the Yoni aquatic ape, aquatic ape. So those are the 3 primary founders races that you saw in the time matrix diagram. So they're all going to have some form of angels and archangels. Now that I showed you the original guardians, let me show you now the guardian angelic nations. There's actually 37 results. The guardian, okay, so in reference to the drama on Earth, SAC stands for Stellar Activation Cycle, which is our sun activation cycle arrived on Earth. Humanity will also be asked to peacefully assist guardian angelic nations in protecting our stargates that are in the Earth system, inside the planet, in the second, you would say D2 level of our planet. That's where the Earth's halls of Amente stargates are. We're supposed to be protecting them and helping the guardian angelic nations. We're part of it. The angelic humans are part of the guardian angelic nations. We're supposed to be protecting our stargates from protect them from the fallen angels who are trying to create race dominion on our planet since 22,000 years ago, man. And so let me go down to more references to the guardian angelic nations. You will see that they're a collective, organized collective of the IAFW, Interdimensional Association of Free Worlds. We'll be looking at that too. Guardian angelic nations often refer to God as the Unisai. Unisai, which means the central point of all union. We've already been through that. So I'm just trying to peruse through the guardian angelic nations. So you see that it's something that's referenced in this Voyager's teachings. Star leagues. There's actually there's actually 25 billion. There's 25 billion star leagues that are part of the guardian angelic nations. So the guardian angelic nations has 25 billion different races that are part of it. And so the human race is just one of them. I got to make a video about the Stargate councils, also called Signet councils, and there's different races that are part of these councils, and some of them got taken over by the fallen angels. Not all of them, but some of them have. Remember, there's distortion between dimensions 11 and 1, so yeah, that can't happen. So these are groups coming out of the guardian angelic nations that are part of the Stargate councils or Signet councils. It's talking about here how the guardian angelic race intervention was initiated due to the long and continuing history of warring between the Anu Elohim, Remember, the Anunnaki, the Elohim races, and the dragon reptilian races. These are fallen angelic legions in this region, and their mutual, though competitive, intention of enslaving and destroying the guardian angelic nations of the angelic human Emerald Covenant races. So they hate us, you guys. The Anu Elohim and the reptilians, dragons, hate us. Now, I made this video about the draconians, the dragons, and of course, dragon lovers are going to attack me and say, oh, they're good. So it just went right over their head. This is a fallen angelic race. And this fallen angelic race are the ones who created the dragons. They're fallen angels, man. And so there can be ones that healed, individuals, maybe families that got healed. But the race is fallen. And so I'll continue looking at the guardian angelic nations. Trying to find something that's not out of context too much. Yeah, these Anu Elohim, they're talking about the fallen ones again, the Pleiadian Nibirians and related Anunnaki fallen angelic legions have attempted to keep guardian angelic nations out of the earth involvement. Dude, it's our freaking planet. It's the guardian project on earth. They're trying to keep us out of our own project, okay? But the fallen beings are also trying to keep the angelic human souls of earth locked into repeated cycles of reincarnation. And that's exactly what they've done. Most humans are stuck in this repeated cycles, which blocks your passage of ascension through the soul, that means the sun, our star, Stargate 4. So those are some of the councils that we'll mention. MCE, now the MC, Melchizedek Cloister, Ayani, the Indigo Consciousness, Janus, Master Council, and the IAFW. And GA is Guardian Alliance, which I've already mentioned to you tonight. Just more of the storyline that would be a little bit out of context. Let me go. No, you guys know our star sister, Rihanna? This is where she gets the word. Amoria. So, a lot of us are remember these powerful frequencies. Let me keep going down. Yeah. So basically, I just wanted to show you that there is something really called the Guardian Angelic Nations. It is part of these groups that I showed in the diagram. So let me show that again. So we have the original groups, and then these councils are bringing more of this into our planet drama. The IAFW and the Melchizedek Cloister Ione Master Council, also called the Syrian Council or Azerite Council, and also the Azerite Universal Templar Security Team, created by the founders races of the IAFW to allow members of the Ione Elder Council from the energy matrix to incarnate directly into densities in the time matrix for crisis intervention. You're an indigo child? You're part of this crisis intervention. Okay, so we have the Guardian Alliance as well. So these are the main groups that were created 250 billion years ago, except this is the only exception. This was created 570 million years ago. And so you could say that angelic humans are kind of like one of these security teams. We're meant to be security. This is why we're targeted. This is why we're getting attacked by multiple fallen angelic legions. The Anu Elohim fallen legions and the reptilian draconian legions. The dragons, the ones that people are praising. These beings are one of the legions attacking us, trying to conquer us, trying to wipe us out. They're not your friend. Inky's not your friend. Enlil's not your friend. Thoth is not your friend. Enoch is not your friend. Galactic Fed is not your friend. These are false light systems. These are inverted consciousness. And so these guardian groups are trying to protect against that, trying to bring awareness to this. They don't go against your free will. They're not trying to go and force you to believe something. They're not going to attack and kill the lower level fallen angels. Whatever, they're only, the fallen angels are able to, you would say, intervene with us because we allow it. That's on us. That's our karma. We went along with some of their narratives, and we got entangled into their narratives, starting from Atlantis days, where we got entangled and tricked, and now they took over our priesthood in Atlantis. And so it was called the Templar Solar Initiates. And so this is how now, because of all this warring and how the humans have fallen to such a low level, most of these ET races that are coming to either attack us or help us, they are angels from the second universe. Sorry for the noise. My neighbor is coming home, I guess. And then there's some higher level ones, archangels, oversouls from the third universe. But of course, sometimes you're going to get avatars even coming down here, like Jesus, Jeshua, like John the Baptist, like Ashyanadin. Those are beings from the avatar level. Some of us align with those identities. Remember those identities. See those higher selves. And so it's not a belief. It's an actual witness. You see it, you feel it, you know it. It's a cognizance, which isn't faith, which isn't hope. So a lot of us are in this, spiritual journey. We're awakening and remembering that, I have a freaking angel self. I remember it. I have an avatar self. Just understand what they are. They're alien extraterrestrials with billions of different appearances. You're an angel with blue skin or green skin, violet skin. You look like a reptilian angel. You look like a feline angel. Because angels aren't what you are brainwashed into thinking. They're not human-looking beings with wings. That's part of Emerald Covenant disclosure. That's not what they're actually ETs that live in different dimensions, higher dimensions than Earth plane. Earth plane is 3D, third dimension. That ain't what is that? Out of 15 dimensions, right? So we have angels coming from the second universe down to our 3D Earth. We have archangels coming down to our 3D Earth, and some avatars coming down. But most of them are angel level, second universe level, including the negative beings. A lot of these negative beings attacking us are coming from the second universe. They're like bullies, right? So you have to understand that humans weren't always down on Earth. We used to live in second universe too, as well. We're also from the second universe, but we fell down here because of warring, because of cataclysm, because of the Templar Solar Initiates specifically, which were originally the guardian indigo children, but they took it over. So now they've gotten power, the Templar Solar Initiates, and they created cataclysm in Tara, our higher level of our species. So it was the Anunnaki and the reptilians who did that. So we caught that We created cataclysm and we fell to a lower level. And now we got some of our angelic guardians coming and helping. And a lot of these Nibirian, Anu Elohim races, reptilian races are coming from the second universe. Not all, most. Most are coming from dimension 4, 5, and 6. That's the second universe. And so, but that's where we come from. So you can remember your higher selves. You start to have past life memories, future life memories. You're not going to see angels with wings. You're going to see angels with reptilian skin, purple skin, with feathers, with fur. Those are angels too. Like the Oraphim are angels. And I showed you what Oraphim looks like. Let me show you which is the race. The Oraphim are an angelic race who created us. Another angelic race. Has nothing to do with wings. Has nothing to do with human-looking beings. Absolutely nothing. It has to do with whatever species lives in the second universe. Those are all angels. It's a category. At least that's how guardians use the word angel as. It's a category of life. You can call them souls or angels. You can call them oversouls or archangels. So when you remember your past lives, well, some of those ET-looking lives are your angelic higher selves. I have seen my Lyran selves, and some of them were female. I mean, I've seen female Lyran cat beings. So you guys know that there is no gender past the second universe. So when you have a vision or a memory of a female or a male lifetime, that female male lifetime has to be either in the first universe or from the second universe. There is no more gender after that. There's only androgynous life. So, and I'm not making stuff up. This is in the teachings. Gender is a spiritual science. It's a polarization of an androgynous being, taking mostly magnetic for the female, mostly electric for the male. A splitting of those frequencies. And the guardians did that because we couldn't fit our higher consciousness down here. So we had to put some of it here in half of your template in the female and put half of your template in the male. So you have male, females are meant to be one. It's a splitting, a polarization of one into two because it couldn't fit in one. This was part of the guardian's solution. So we had to, it happened in our first strand of DNA. We have 12 strands in the DNA of the human race. So they took strand 1 and polarized it. Now, because of strand 1, we all have male or female lifetimes. Sometimes you're male, sometimes you're female. You're going to live 144 times in the first universe. And it's literal physics. This is why you have an exact number. You have and so take 144 divided by 2, 72. So you have 72 male incarnations and 72 female incarnations. You see how it's literally physically equal. And we got all these gender wars down here. People thinking females are better or more superior, and people think males are better or superior. You're both wrong, homies. You always will be equal. So that's the red flag in religion when they say that the male is, the main. What the F are you talking about? You do not know creation mechanics when you start talking that BS. You'll even hear light workers saying females are better or males are better. They're full of shit. They're full of distortion. They're confused. They don't know creation mechanics. They don't know that gender happened when the guardians polarized the humans into male-female. As a matter of fact, some of the starseed races don't have gender. And you will find that in the Voyager's books. So we have all this crap in the world, in different religious systems, in different New Age systems. People think all this mixed, weird, distorted ideas about gender. You're not going to always be male. You're not going to always be female. And sometimes you're not going to be either male or female. You're going to be your true self. The true identity is androgynous. Many angels and archangels are androgynous. They don't have a polarized magnetic female self or a polarized electric male self. They're electromagnetic. Both. The original self is both electric and magnetic. You're going to be beautiful and handsome. You're going to be feminine and strong. You're both of those. That's your true self. So stop playing these stupid gender games of roles, please. Wake up to understand that all life. So how do you get I don't want to go into this topic. How do you get homosexuality in there? So that's another topic, because the Guardians don't take and polarize male. They didn't take and polarize female. That isn't a polarization. You always start with an electromagnetic androgynous being. What do you do when you split that in half? It's electric and magnetic. And so most of these angels and archangels have an androgynous version of itself. Expression. It's the true expression. That's your brothers and sisters out here. That's your true expression. Androgyny. Don't get confused. That doesn't mean you go chop off your genitals or change your genitals. That's what some people are doing. That is not natural. That's not organic. You weren't born wrong. Remember, you're 72 males incarnations. You're 72 female incarnations. There's no mistake. This time around, I'm a male. One of my other incarnations, I'm a female. And those guys who have problems with putting down women, well, you're a woman sometimes, homie. So anyways, a lot of these, especially archangels, they don't have any gender because they're from Universe 3, where there is no more gender. No, there is no races anymore at that level. The third universe is a whole nother ball game. They don't even have physical forms anymore. It's pure consciousness. And in the conscious level, imagine what you can imagine. You can see whole worlds and live in those worlds in your mind, in your consciousness, those worlds are all energy. So in those worlds, there is no physical body like we think. They can change their form all the time, constantly, if they wanted to. Be this form, express that form, that form. You start to go farther and farther away from this gender crap. Which is just what's that called? A logistic. It was just a logistic, man. Tinker, okay, we're going to split this, and now we're going to have males and females, right? And you're going to live sometimes as the male, sometimes as the female. And so one of the things I brought that up because sometimes when you see your higher selves, they're not going to have gender. Some of these higher selves that are your angel selves may not have gender. Even on this level, sometimes we don't have gender. But on our planet, in the genetic human hybridization, they had to do it. It's a logistical thing. They had to do it. And so it happened in strand 1. So, which was done by the Polarians and the Hyperbornians. And then after they polarized us, then they brought in the Lemurian identities, then the Atlantean identities, and now us, the Aryan identities. And then we're going to have future versions called the Mavarians, and then the Unchechi. Polarian, Hyperbornian, Lemurian, Atlantean. and Aryan and Muvarian, Unchechi. And so this is the 7 root races, also called earthseed races. And so we are literally, you would say, remember, your consciousness is always one level higher than your physical body. Physical. This is a vehicle for an angel soul. A soul level. Remember, it's also called the angel level. So it is the 4th D, the human race. I'm not talking about starseeds and indigos. The human race, the one, billions of humans. They exist in the 4th dimension. That's where their consciousness is now. All of our consciousness is always one dimension higher than where your body is located. So all humans are angels, man. Angelic consciousness. Astral 4D consciousness is in a 3-dimensional body. Do you want to know what animals are? They're 3rd-dimensional consciousness in 2-dimensional bodies. A subatomic particle, that's a 2-dimensional consciousness in a subatomic body form. So, and this is in the books. You'll hear Ashana teach that principle. So let's say you're on Earth in the 3 dimension. That is your body. Your soul is the astral 4D. When you ascend, how do I do this with my fingers? You ascend upwards into the 4D. Now your body, your consciousness is in the 5D. If you ascend from here, your consciousness goes into the 6th dimension. Your body goes into the 5th dimension. You keep on doing that until you get to 12 strands. Okay? So we're all angels, guys. Our consciousness is angelic inside a human physical shell, a vehicle for the angelic consciousness. But that goes for any being. All beings who exist in the 3rd dimension, whether that's beings on Earth or beings on Alcyon or beings on Sirius, that's the mechanic of the time matrix. You're always one dimension higher than your body. So it is the body indwelling this. Your angelic consciousness, I said it wrong. Your angelic consciousness is what is embodying this 3D body. In the body. It is the one that is projecting into the body. So technically we're all angels having a 3D human experience. So we're spirit having a human experience. So this whole thing about angels is so distorted on Earth. You're so confused and it doesn't make sense to you until you get it broken down like this. Because the religious idea and most of the occult idea is an angel is some bird being. I don't want to use that word stupid. It's just ignorant. It's ignorant. Absolute ignorance. They don't look like that. It's just, you know what's funny? When I say that, I got people telling me they don't look like that, like in my video. Yes, they do. An angel isn't a human-looking being with wings. It's an extraterrestrial in the 4th, the 5th, or the 6th dimension. All beings in the 2nd universe are angels. It's a classification. So when you start hearing the word angel, don't think of some being with a body. Well, I guess it's a being in a body in the 2nd universe, but what I'm saying is they're all beings in the 2nd universe. They're all angels. All the beings in the 3rd universe are archangels. So there's all kinds of different kinds of angels and archangels. There's billions, trillions of different angel races and archangel races. Because remember that whole, when you break it down, there's trillions of stars in our Milky Way galaxy. But there's trillions of other galaxies. So trillions times trillions is an astronomical number of how many different races live in our time matrix. So that's actually conservative when I say those numbers like billions and trillions. That's a conservative number. So you got to ask some person who's really knowledgeable about math and how to calculate that. There's too many zeros. They use these square numbers and they make the number fit on paper so you don't have to write all these zeros. But anyways, there's countless. Just say the word countless. There's countless types of angels and archangels. But at least the guardians give us a number. The guardians give us a number and say there's 25 billion races in the guardian angelic nations, also called the IAFW, Interdimensional Association of Free Worlds. So we know that's a lot of angel star leagues. Okay, so I mean, the fallen angels have legions too, but so do the guardians. We have legions of angelic nations. 25 billion is a lot of different races. That's a ton of consciousness serving light. And it doesn't mean all beings of light are part of that group, right? There must be all kinds of beings not in the guardian angelic nations, but that's how many we are a part of this. And so I showed you the Guardian Alliance. They're a lot smaller group, and they're only from a few 100 million years ago. And so they have 10 million. Would you say? Let me look at in the Voyager's book. I'll just look up the word 10 million, but let me show it with you guys. I'll check this one first, the Voyager's 1. 10 million. It shows up once. Guardian Alliance, what did I say? Guardian Alliance has 10 million. A governing body of over 10 million different planets, different Star League nations. While the IAFW has 25 billion. But a lot of you're here working as a starseed or indigo, you're probably part of this Guardian Alliance. And just so you know, like I said earlier, the Galactic Federation is the bad guys. I don't care if you call it the Galactic Federation of Light. They're not light. They're not representing light. That's not what they're all about. They're bad guys pretending to be guardians, light workers. It's in their teachings. They're not going to bring you the innerchristos. They're not going to empower you that way. They're going to have you relying on them. It's a savior program. That's one of their programs. To save you, help the humans need help. You guys need help. You suck. We're going to come help your asses out because you suck. That's the whole idea of the Galactic Fed. They don't empower you. You're seeking something outside your inner Christos. Anuhazi, dude, brother, Machiwa, homie, woohoo! Thank you so much, brother. You're awesome, man. Yeah. Machiwa family, my journey has been challenging but fun. And you said it, bro. A lot of us have felt that challenging journey. It's not easy, right? Let me refresh my screen. Yeah, it's not an easy journey, man. And much respect to all of your journey, because it can be very challenging. Because there's so many distortions on planet Earth. And so we have to try to go, like our journey is probably like bumpy. Like we have our highs and we have our lows and high, like this. You can feel manic. You know, you can get hot flashes. You can have problems and issues in your health, in your beliefs, and you know, we have to like deal with karma, personal karma, race karma, like the human race karma itself, the planetary karma, and even galactic karma and universal karma. So we deal with all these things. It's not easy, especially when there's a spiritual war happening on Earth, especially when there's spiritual bondage on Earth. So, brother, I hear you. A lot of us hear you. It's not easy. I mean, even myself, right? I've been going through challenges myself, financial challenges, because I was homeless 3 or 4 years ago. And so it's been very, very difficult to start everything over. Literally, I had to start my whole life over because I lost everything. And so twice in my life. First time, my house caught on fire. Our house, my family house, we had to run out of the house for our lives. I had to watch the house burn. Everything I owned burned. All I had left was the clothes on my back, literally. I didn't even have shoes. And the news came by and filmed it, and I was on the news barefoot, and I hadn't shaved in a week or two. I mean, no, like a month. I hadn't shaved, and I was on the news. I looked like Grizzly Adams. I just lost my home. I have nothing. I got to go to Walmart right now and pick up some shoes, socks, clothes, stuff, toiletries. You know, imagine having nothing. Let me show you my house burning on fire, because I had to watch it. Images, photos. This was our house burning. I heard things exploding. Some things were exploding. Obviously, we had to be far away. And this is a fireman right there. Fireman putting some of that. This is the carport area. So luckily, I got my truck out of the carport, because this truck was in the carport. Me and my dad had to push it out. I couldn't find my keys, you know, because the house is burning down. What am I going to do? I got to get my truck out of the carport before it burns down. So I didn't have clothes, but at least I had my truck left. Thank goodness for that. So that was one of the 2 times in my life where I lost everything. And sometimes you need to, maybe some of us need to lose everything in order to get our life into another direction, because my life was not in the right direction then. Not to mention, we lived in a poor level. We had mold growing in the house, and we didn't have regular bathroom and stuff. It was just, thank goodness my spirit took me into another direction. Because, you know, I was forced to find a lodging. I had to rent a house. I had to live with some family members for a week or 2 before I could get approved for some house. So Anahazi, dude, I hear you, brother. We've been through some rough rides. Just because we're these starseeds and indigos doesn't mean life is going to be easy. Doesn't mean we're going to be abundant and have everything's going to be taken care of for us. We're going to live like royalty. No special favors for us because we're indigos. Shit. We have some of the roughest rides. Especially if you're indigo 3, baby. Type 3. So, anyways. My chihuahua. Memory lane, right? In and out? baby. I want some In-N-Out. I mean, I'm a vegan, but sometimes I will have a hamburger. You know, like I would say maybe about 3 or 4 times a year I'll have a hamburger. And she just mentioned that, and that sounds good, you know. I prefer Wendy's or, you know, yeah, I like Wendy's, Burger King. But you guys, don't take me out of context, please. I don't usually eat that food. I usually eat vegan. You know, I think I made an exception when I went to Thanksgiving, or I make an exception if I'm traveling. I can't like be organized enough to bring vegan food all the time. So don't judge me, but some people will anyways. Shit. Anyways, I'm not one of those people who are super, you know, strict on myself. We have to have some flexibility. We have to have some balance. And quite frankly, get off my ass. It was Speaker One herself who said you need to eat meat sometimes. That's coming from Ashiana, man. So, anyways, I prefer an alkaline vegan diet, and I do eat that. Like even tonight, after this live, I'm going to eat alkaline electric vegan chili. No meat, just veggies. We got bell peppers, tomatoes, and also carrots and celery, zucchini, some onion, some seasonings. Yeah, that's it. That's my meal for tonight and for the rest of the week, or until I spend it with family, maybe this on New Year's. So, thank you guys for hanging with us. What's up, homies? Oh yeah, for sure. You don't want to live off of fast food, brother Indigo. I know. I agree with you, man. I just explained myself. I don't need to explain myself more. It's not going to kill me if I eat it once a year, twice a year, right? To each their own. You know, leave me alone. You follow your path, I'll follow my path. So, what's up? Any questions, you guys? Let me check. Oh, actually, Giannis hasn't been here, so yeah, now she's here. What's up, Giannis? Oh, we got a question from Yosemite. Did I say that right? Yosemite 369? Good number there. Powerful number, 369. Okay, I'll show you, Holy One. Good question. I'll put it in chat for you so it's easy to find. If you go to my channel and go to my playlists, oh, let me turn off my sound before it plays. Get off of me. Okay. Well, I'll just go to my channel and click on it shows the live and in order of most popular. So that was my 15-dimensional time matrix. But I like to give you the newer one. So let me give the newer video. It's a live that had 11,000 views. So let me give that one. Brother, whoever's asking, yeah. I'll put it in chat for you right now. That's what it's called. And let me get a share link. Share link. Copy. And there's the share link. Voila. Thank you, Holy One. And thank you, Giannis. Good to see you. I'm glad you showed up. You guys, all my moderators, they don't have to be here. They can be here whenever they want. This is service. You know, it's like I'm doing service. So this is why I have more than one moderator in case one of them doesn't show up, right? Celine, can reading the false emerald tablets cause harm to you if you read them? It's not going to cause harm to you if you read them. Good question, though. I don't know who asked that. She didn't put who asked that, but yeah. Thank you, Celine, by the way. um, you could read verses of the Bible because you want to know what the hell it's about. It's not going to harm you. Okay? What could harm you is you start agreeing with those false teachings and start practicing those false teachings. You're judging people like the Bible judges people. A lot of Christians are judging people. Repent! You must get on your knees and accept the Lord as your sacrifice lamb. Right? They judge you. So if you start judging people like that, you start acting like those distortions in the emerald tablets, then hey, that's going to get you, that will affect you. But reading something just to read something is not going to affect you. So I can understand why you may think that. It's just, it doesn't happen that way. It's not happening that way. Now, something could happen is, let's say you're reading a black magic spell and you're pronouncing the words of invocation. Those things you don't want to read if you don't want that to happen. Some of those words are commands or spells, or you're casting a spell for something to happen. That's not what you were asking, though. So, Machua. Sarah Holder. Yeah. Yeah, you said it, Shine. All that shame, fear. Okay, negative. Shame, negative. Fear, negative. Guilt, negative. Judgment, negative. This is all religion can produce. Negative, dark, wicked, profane, death, sacrifice. It's freaking disgusting, but this is the human consciousness falling for it. 3D consciousness is falling for that, right? So not everyone's falling for it. Some people have that connection open within them to know the difference, or to tell. It's called discernment. You should feel something when you hear all those negative teachings, what we call false creeds, false light. They're inverted teachings. And so we're talking about angels tonight, but what the fallen angels do is they take the angel teachings, the guardian teachings, and twist it. And so it takes you away from your inner Christos. It takes you away from your higher self identities and power. And now you're placing your power, even giving your power to some other being, right? So this is not, that is a trick that's happening on earth. This is how they're pulling people into bondage. And so you would, create all these false light systems so people are worshiping and following instead of going inside. The guardians don't teach worship. They don't teach following or channeling or any of that. We're about connecting and being empowered. Not from an ego way, but that's straight up what we are. We are straight up these beings. This is why I call you guys holy ones, because when you look at the whole person, they're an incarnate, but they're also a soul, and they're an oversoul, and you're an oversoul, avatar, and you can keep on going. So you are holy ones. Maybe we're lost and confused down here. We're not perfect down here. We're trying to figure it out. So this is something that is a journey. That's what I call your spiritual journey. It's a spiritual journey of awakening and growing your discernment, You're learning, you're relearning knowledge, spiritual knowledge, and you're reactivating your energies by running the energy through your body, healing your chakras, opening those chakras up, and then you just start experiencing, you guys, supernatural, paranormal things. That's what a spiritual journey is for. H.M. Jacks, you said it. That's a statement. That's an affirmation. No one outside of myself can alter my peace. And think about that. The words that you're saying and the emotions that you're feeling is your vibration. You're speaking profanity, that is your vibration. You're speaking judgment, that is your vibration. You're expressing love, unconditional love, omni love, that is your vibration. This is where we get the ideas of high vibration, high vibe, and low vibration. We don't want low vibes. We want high vibes. High vibe thinking, high vibe speaking, high vibe friends, high vibe relationships. So when you start messing with low vibe stuff, well, that's going inside of your energy, your fields, now in your expressions. Until you heal that, transmute that. Goodbye, good riddance, no thank you. Machiwa. Voya the Toya. There isn't a graphic novel version of the Voyager's book, but that's what I want to do. I want to be able to do that. But, you know, it's a copyrighted work, so I'm going to take it to video. I'm going to make it graphic. I've already explained to people that I'm going to be making a videos series on the Voyagers 2. I'm going to go through what it's saying and turn it into video format. So the original, you know, company that made the Voyagers books didn't do that. It's all text, no pictures. But they do make some diagrams. Otherwise, you know, I understand what you're saying, because look, this is text, some diagrams, like in the later part of the book. There's, you see some diagrams. It's not like you said, it's not graphic. Like I turned to this graphic, look, that's Atlantis and Lemuria. It did exist. They were continents once upon a time. Not any longer, but you know. Of course, Voya. Bless you, Holy One. So yeah, you guys. This is you could say this is basically what the angels are and how humans are actually angelic consciousness, and that there's an angelic war playing out, and we're part of that war. I mean, we've been attacked, and we have to guard and protect ourselves. And so we have fallen angels attacking the angels. You see what I mean? So we have this drama playing out. When you awaken, you know, you start to awaken, you learn stuff, and you start to perceive things. Well, part of your awakening is finding out that we're in a war. And so when you get people's just kind of closing their eyes, they're just that clueless, you know, clueless. They don't want to know nothing negative or dark. And that is dangerous to your spiritual awakening. That makes you clueless. That is, you're not doing yourself a favor that way. You want to be, you know, like our friend said, is it bad to read the tablets of Thoth? Is it bad to talk about these fallen angels? No, it is not. You're actually preparing yourself to not be manipulated by those beings. If you're aware of them, if you know how to transmute them, you know, if you know exactly how they operate, then you won't if you see through the illusions, then those illusions no longer have power over you. That's why you want to be awakened and not clueless. You want to know who the bad guys are. You want to know exactly who they are, and then you recognize them in false light teachings. You don't know nothing about them, you're clueless. You're going to be fooled. You're going to be punked until you awaken to those fallen angels who are attacking the angelic humans. So, the fallen beings and their false light teachings are fear-based. What I'm doing, what the Guardian's doing, are exposing the fear-based, narratives and belief systems. They're tricking us. They put us into these false light systems. The fallen angels put us into religions. They tricked us into following the religions. So it isn't from yesterday, guys. It's from a long, long time ago. It happened, like I said, in the ancient days of Atlantis. We started disempowering ourselves, going along with it. That saying is, the vampire has to ask to come in, and then you've invited the vampire in. We agreed at some point in time, we agreed to go along with the Anunnaki narratives. We went along with the reptilian narratives. And so now we're deep in it. Now we're deep in that religion, right? 8 billion of us? That's deep into this distortion. That's a majority of Earth, man. So we're about these teachings, and my channel, Christos Avatar, is about remembering, reawakening, activating, sparking your higher self memory. And you won't need me. You will just find it within yourself. You won't need nobody's validation. You will find that validation within your own self, your own inner Christos, your own connection. So I think this is good for tonight, you guys. This is kind of like a holiday schedule. I hope a lot of you have a beautiful week with your family. I won't be seeing my family, so I'll spend time with my girlfriend though, so I won't be totally alone. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. I plan on doing a live on Saturday, okay? And it's possible I'll also be on my live on Tuesday, but I'm not sure. But I'm pretty confident I'll be here on Saturday, you guys. So I hope to see you guys on Saturday. And then, if not Tuesday, then it'll be next Saturday. Now, one of our sisters, I'm going to be one of our regulars here. I don't know if she's here tonight. One second. Nikki B, also called the Drop of Flame in chat. I'm gonna do an interview with her. I'm still talking to her about it, so it might be the following Saturday. But I hope to see you guys on this Saturday. If not, maybe Tuesday or the next Saturday. So thank you so much for hanging with me tonight, you guys. If you haven't had dinner, go find something healthy and vegan style, if that's your path. No judgment if it's not. So this is a good, hopefully you learned something. Those of you who are new, learn something about angels. I try to break it down from the macro level and move on into the micro level, all the way down to what's going on in your own journey. So, Machiwa. Shaddai Ure Akuntan. Too high for my voice. Shaddai Ure Akuntan. Shaddai Urea Kumtan. And you know how you have a chakra on your palm? You have micro chakras on your fingertips. And when you sing Shaddai Ure, try to feel it, man. Feel those micro vibrations. And honestly, I can feel it. I don't know if you guys can feel it. But if you put your hand over something, you should get a tingling sensation on your palm chakra. Whenever I get lit or smoke, I put my hand over it and I can feel that medicine a few inches above, just feel it. As I transmute anything negative to my health or issue or consciousness, I transmute, you heal it. And you can feel it. Right now I can feel these vibrations on my hand as I move my hand across anything. I can feel that. It feels good. It's positive, like it goes all the way up to I feel it running all the way up to my thumb. Sometimes it takes a while to feel it. Right there, I feel it. Up my thumb, up to the index, definitely along my palm. Yeah, so this is something you play with and practice and train yourselves, you guys. So I know Christmas is not Christic. It's about the resurrection. The real Jeshua did not resurrect, did not die. So there's no resurrection when there's no death. The real Jesus, Jeshua 12. Jeshua, Sananda, Melchizedek. Bless our brother, indigo brother, Jeshua. Yeah, it's just something came into my mind, so it's going to take me a while to find it. Never mind. But anyways, you guys, thank you for hanging out with me tonight. Thank you to my moderators, Indigo Wizard, Mr. Madism, Starman's around sometimes. Have any of you guys heard from Starman? Please let me know. Celine, Sarah Holder, I know she has a new username. Giannis, Stardust Goddess. Is Stardust Goddess here tonight? We also have Little Alien, Mr. Madism, if I didn't say. Special shout out to all my regulars. Thank you guys for being with us, man. You guys are amazing. And let me before I stop, let me double check the activity. No, I only got one donation tonight. Oh, this is why your brother, don't hate on me because I'm posting my shirts for sale. Don't hate on me. This is why, you guys, I cannot survive on donations anymore. I just can't. It's not happening. But I'm still going to ask. I'm still going to ask you guys, please help your brother Anahazi out. That's how I survive. That's how I survive. It's going to take me a month or two to get my shirts off the t-shirts going and helping my income. Because my income sucks right now without that. So don't get mad at me because I'm posting t-shirts for sale. I have to survive. You see how this works? Because some people don't see how it works. You try it. You try to survive on teaching online and see if it's not challenging. It's definitely challenging. So thank you to all those who do support my work. Thank you so very much for your donation from Anahazi Dude tonight. So that's a record low tonight. Record low. Huge low. But thank you guys so much for hanging with me. And come in on Tuesday or Saturday if you guys aren't too busy spending your Christmas money. Some people get money on Christmas and then they go spending, right? Much love and thank you to my moderators. Thank you to all you regulars. Thank you to the newcomers. Go on a binge some of my playlists. I have a shorts playlist. I have a lives playlist. I have different playlists like the Master Templar playlist. I have the ET Alien playlist. I have a bunch of playlists, you guys. Magi Celine! Star Sister! Woohoo! Christos love, Celine, bless you, sister. Thank you so much for supporting my work. Thank you so much. I mean, you're already supporting the work by being a member, and you bought some of my art. You bought a t-shirt. Celine's badass, man. Thank you, Celine. Christos love, sister. Also, Giannis bought a couple of my shirts, so thank you to Giannis, too. Yeah, you guys, I'm going to be putting up shirts every single day. I put up one, I'm working on one of my spiritual humor shirts. I will finish it after I eat and all that, but it will be on my Etsy shop soon, so. All right, you guys, I'm dragging this out. I love you so much, you guys. Thank you so much for being here with me tonight. I'll see you guys soon. Machiwa. Living in gratitude, respect, responsibility, impeccability, fearlessness. Live in fearlessness, holy ones. Machiwa. Kachis, Masua.